Hey guys, it's Jeremy here on Metal Music Meltdown, back with another video. What I have for you today, guys, is another top 10 songs video. I haven't done one of these in a while. I've done a few of these on my playlist, like my top 10 favorite songs from a certain band. I think I've done AC/DC, Ozzy solo career, Metallica, I believe, Slayer, the Beatles, I think I've done as well. So I wanted to tackle the mighty Black Sabbath, one of the greatest bands of all time. And when doing this video, going back and visiting some songs, I kept saying to myself, "How's Black Sabbath not my favorite band of all time?" Like right now, it's Opeth, but every time I listen to Sabbath, I'm always blown away by how good they still sound. The riffs are just so heavy and like doomy and catchy, and the vocals are amazing and incredible stuff. Pretty much all the songs I went with were from either the Ozzy or the Dio era. I do like some of the albums from the other vocalists, but for me, those two singers are what make up Sabbath. Those albums are always the best, and all my favorite songs kind of come from them. Most of the songs on my list are pretty big hits. Like I don't think there'll be any big surprises on my list. I didn't include like Paranoid and Iron Man, even though I fucking love those songs, but they're just so overplayed, and I don't listen to them quite as much as I used to, but they didn't quite make the list. But let's jump right in, guys. Number 10, I went with the opening track from Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, the title track. Always dug this song, really catchy song, sing along, really cool riffs in this song, really doomy sounding. Always my favorite song from this album. And I kind of wanted to represent, at least get some songs from a couple different albums. I didn't want everything to come from the same album. So that's always been my favorite song from that album. And number 9, from Sabotage, I went with the song Hole in the Sky. Again, probably my favorite album from Sabotage. I think Ozzy's vocals on this album might be the strongest he's ever done. He sounds really, really good on this, nice and eerie and heavy. And this is just a killer song, really heavy and dark, and love the riffs on this song as well. Just a really, really good song. At number 8, I went with Neon Nights from Heaven and Hell. I think this is the opening track. It's just a barn burner of a song. High energy, sing along. Ronnie's vocals have that really gritty kind of power to them that make you give that stink face. And it just sounds amazing. It's just a really good song, really good rhythms, really catchy song, and heavy but aggressive, not aggressive, but fast tempo, and really get you fist in the air and ready to listen to the rest of the album. Sets the tone perfectly. At number 7, I went with Fairy Wears Boots from their Paranoid album. Really good tune. Might be one of their best of all time. I wanted to put a little bit higher at first, but then I was listening to the other songs. I'm like, okay, I'll put it a little bit lower. I listened to the other albums just a little bit more overall. And yeah, this is just a killer song, one of their best of all time. From Paranoid, like I said, this is just an album chock full of great hits. But this has always been one of my favorites, and it's a banger. From Volume 4, I went with Snowblind. Of course, it's about cocaine. All of them did heavy amounts of cocaine at the time. And Volume 4 is a killer album, but this song really stuck with me. It's got a really sing-along kind of song to it. It's one I remember growing up listening to when I first got into Sabbath. And it's one of the first songs I really grabbed onto that I really sung along to, and I knew the words and remember all the hooks and the riffs. Just a really nostalgic song for me, and really, really, really killer song. At number 5, I went with Sweet Leaf from Master of Reality. Again, another song that really kind of triggered my childhood. Listening to the song, the coughing at the beginning, and then that riff. Everyone knows that song. Killer vocals from Ozzy. Always been one of my favorite Black Sabbath songs, and one of the first that really stuck with me when I was younger. And next we got from Mob Rules, I got Sign of the Southern Cross. Might be the heaviest song that's on with Dio on vocals. Really crunchy guitar riffs on this one. Dio's vocals are really mean and angry and like growly and like aggressive but powerful. Really gives you that stink face when he's singing along. It's just a killer song, really good song. Always been my favorite from Mob Rules. The title track's really good too. But overall, one of my favorites from that era for sure. And number 3, I went with another song from Heaven and Hell, Children of the Sea. Again, Dio's vocals in this song are just insane. Again, the stink face, so powerful. Tony Iommi's riffing, combining those two guys together in a group is like legendary, and it proved it with those 2 or 3 albums that they put out. And Children of the Sea has always been a song that stuck with me, and a standout track from Heaven and Hell. Number 2 and number 1. When I was younger, my number 2 was always my number 1, and then when I discovered the Dio era Sabbath, my number 1 changed. I might give something away, but number 2, I went with War Pigs. God, this song kicks so much ass. It's just so haunting and eerie at the beginning, and then the lyrics are really cool and just sing along, and it's like dark and atmospheric. The riffs are insane. The rhythms are cool. The pre-choruses. Such a killer song. Again, from Paranoid. My favorite albums from the band. Had to make my list at the top. And for number 1, guys, I went with the title track from Heaven and Hell. Always been my favorite Sabbath song since I heard it. That killer bass intro. Oh, it's so good. And then those riffs kick in. Ronnie's vocals soaring over the top. Just the best. If I could give one song to somebody to say this is what encapsulates heavy metal, it would be Heaven and Hell. Everything about the song, the bass line, the riffs, the heaviness, the aggression, and then at the end when it gets like even faster and heavier and really swells and gets even more intense. Oh, it's so killer. It's probably top 5 song of all time for me. Killer song. So let me know down below, guys, what your top 10 Black Sabbath songs would be. I know mine are pretty straightforward. I had three songs from Heaven and Hell alone, so it kind of stands out as my favorite Sabbath album. But let me know down below, guys, what your picks would be, and stay tuned for another episode, or let me know down below what band I shall tackle next for the top 10 songs. And stay tuned for other great content, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up to give me a little more space in the algorithm, kind of boost my videos up in the mix. Thanks for watching, guys. And keep it metal.